Jolon is not only, she's not really a new member of our church, but she's a fairly new member. She's been part of our church for several months now. Back, I think she joined back in the spring. Does that sound about right? Yeah. Okay. She's also a school teacher, a kindergarten teacher, as many of you may know. And so when we were talking about starting our messages in this series, when we've been talking about being faithful to God with our living, with our giving, with our serving, I wanted to find a couple of different folks to interview. And so I kind of got Jolon to the side and I said, now Jolon, I'd like to interview you. Would that be okay? And she said, I think I could do that. So I know that last week many of you were not able to be here to hear the interview with Rick. But let me tell you, somebody got finished at the end of the service. They said, you know what, Pastor? You may think you interviewed Rick, but instead he interviewed you. You probably didn't know. But anyway, Rick did a great job. But, you know, perspective is different from different folks. So I want you to know Jolon Davis, to get to know her and to be able to know more about her and how you can pray for her as she finds her service and finds her part in our church. So, Jolon, I'm going to start the same questions with you. I want you to tell me how long you've been a Christ follower and a little bit about your faith experience.
I'm going to look at you.
Okay. You go right ahead. Okay.
Actually, most of my life I've been a Christ follower. I can remember at the tender age of 5 going out to the beach to be baptized, high tide, early in the morning. I don't think I was able to swim then. But my oldest sister, she's a pastor, and our denomination was Pentecostal. So we, being in Pentecostal, we went to church every day. We didn't go to church. We were praying at home. So, you know, it was an experience. It was. You couldn't wear pants being a woman. You had to wear long skirts. You couldn't wear red fingernail polish. You were probably going to hell. You had to wear a head covering. So it was an experience, and I left the nest, and I kind of rebelled against being a Christian. And at that time, I kind of experienced other forms of religion. And I did that for a while, and things just didn't make sense to me. So I came back home. So around 5 or 6 years ago, I kind of got the urge of, you know, before, you know, it was your parents pushing you to go to church. You had to go to church. You know, it was just no other way. And this time, I just had a yearn for, you know, myself to go deeper and understand exactly the religion that I was in. I wanted to know this God more in depth. So I started attending this one church, and I mean, everyone was fairly nice. It just seems like they were a little bit advanced for me. So I needed like a prerequisite. So I kind of, you know, stopped going to church, but every Sunday morning I feel a conviction like I'm supposed to be in church. So I turn on the TV, I watch Joel Osteen. And I had passed this church several times, and also the church down the street. So I was going, it was like anybody go. And I happened to come to this church, and I was just really pleased on the teaching and how you just made it seem you put real life situation into biblical times, and I was able to understand it. So that's where I'm at.
Wonderful. How about that? Is that great? I think actually that Jolon might have visited for the first time on a Wednesday night. I'm not absolutely certain. But I remember meeting her and how some of our folks said, come over and sit with me, come over and sit with me. Because we just loved her from the beginning. And so, Jolon, we're excited about you being a part of our church. And I'm so grateful that you would take time to share that. And see, some of y'all thought being a Baptist was tough. You know, so we're not as strict on you as some are. Jolon, the second thing is, what influenced your decision to join Macedonia? You talked a little bit about the teaching, the preaching, and I appreciate that. Is there any other factor, anything else that particularly made you want to come and be a part of it?
Pretty much, I guess, because I'm a teacher, and I just loved how everything is just being taught explicitly and through demonstrations. And I believe after the Sunday I visited, we were having Bible study, and we were back in one of the classes, and I walked in. We had a clipboard and our little packets, and there was a television on, and we were talking about different questions and things, and I was like, oh yeah, I like this. Yeah. And then it was one Sunday, I'm not sure if it was the Sunday that followed, there was a minister up, and he unveiled the mirror, and he wrote on it, and I just knew it. I was like, oh yeah, that's me, I'm here.
That's great. Well, I appreciate that. Now, what do you most enjoy about being part of Macedonia?
I enjoy that everyone is so friendly and very helpful. I guess I'm an old soul, so I kind of gravitate to the older women. And Miss Naomi, and then there's a friend of my neighbor across the street from me. She's here. I've never learned her name, but she's always so nice to me, and just the love and the kindness, and just pretty much it reminds me of how Jesus and his disciples, they pretty much, they were loved, they were kind, they helped one another. And I get that feeling here.
Good.
So that's what I most enjoy about being a part of Macedonia.
I appreciate that. Now, how has being a member of Macedonia made a difference in your life?
I'm in the Word a little bit more than I used to be before. I have a daily devotional, and I feel like I've sinned when I don't crack it open and read it. So I'm more in the Word when it comes. And then also it helps me just my daily lifestyle, trying to be more Christian-like. I'm getting better with the cars when they cut me in. I'm getting better.
He lives in Sunday school.
Yeah, she's trying to take up the difference for her pastor who's not getting better.
Yield.
And finally, gentlemen, what's a dream that you'd like to see come true for the future of this church?
I thought about that question, and I heard the young man answer it last week.
Young man, Rick, did you hear that? That's going to cost you, I'm going to tell you.
I believe I'm living that dream.
Wonderful.
I really do. I believe I'm living that dream. I think there are more young adults like me who crave wanting to know more about the gospel, who wants to see more Christian living the fruits of the Spirit. And I get that here. So I believe I'm in that dream, and I believe if the church just continue that lifestyle, that more and more people will be attracted to the ministry.
You just get an A+.